So in this video we are going to look at enzymes and how they affect chemical reactions in the body. So enzymes are basically catalysts which are used to speed up chemical reactions in the body. And these chemical reactions that occur spontaneously without any influence on them are what we call metabolism. They occur spontaneous, and enzymes are biological catalysts which are used to speed up these reactions. So before we begin with the enzymes, let's look at some basic terms. So the first term we are going to look here, as we said, is metabolism. So metabolism is basically the sum of all the chemical reactions in the body that produce intermediate equal metabolites which is used to sustain an organism's life. We have two main types of metabolism. We have a catabolism and anabolism. As the name implies, when we say catabolism, it's basically breaking down a very large complex molecule to smaller molecules. For example, respiration. If you have glucose and you oxidize it, you're going to generate carbon dioxide and water. And also, if you have sucrose and you hydrolyze it as a disaccharide, you're going to generate the monosaccharide unit, glucose and fructose. The opposite is anabolism, which is the inverse of the catabolism. It involves using smaller molecules to combine to form a very larger molecules, as seen in photosynthesis, combining carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll plant to generate glucose, or combining glucose and fructose as monosaccharides in the presence of ATP to generate sucrose. All these are chemical reactions in the body, and they are termed metabolism. All the features of organisms, including breathing, reproduction, growth, are as a result of these metabolic activities, and these activities are all spontaneous, and enzymes are what are used to speed up these reactions that occurs in the body. So what are then are enzymes? Enzymes are basically biological catalysts which are used to speed up chemical reactions, as we said earlier. So they themselves are not affected, but they are just used to speed up the chemical reactions. They are biological catalysts, and they are used to increase the rate of a particular metabolic reaction that occurs in the body. Let's look at some basic features of some enzymes. The first feature of enzyme here is their nature. Enzymes are protein in nature. They are mostly proteins in nature, but in some cases they may occur as nucleic acids, and those groups are what we call ribozymes. Enzymes serve as catalysts, and they are used to speed up chemical reactions. Enzymes have specific particular reactions. For enzyme specificity, we are going to look at in details in the next video, so kindly like and subscribe to the channel so that you get updated when the next video on the enzyme specificity drops. Enzymes also used in small amounts because only small amount of enzymes are needed to convert a particular substrate to a product. The next one is the active center of an enzyme, which we are going to look at in the next video. Kindly like and subscribe to the channel so that you'll be updated when we do the next video on enzyme active center and enzyme specificity. The next one is enzyme sensitivity. They are very sensitive because they are protein in nature. So when proteins are subjected to high conditions like temperature or pH, they are going to be denatured. So enzymes are also sensitive to harsh temperatures and pH. Enzymes may be intracellular or extracellular. They can be found in the cells, example like mitochondrial enzymes, or they can be found outside cells like the enzymes in the digestive tract. Enzymes themselves do not get affected at the end of every reaction. So they speed up a reaction, but they never get affected with the nature and of the reaction if no conditions attached. They tend to also lower the activation energy of an enzyme. So the activation energy of an enzyme or of a reaction, also we are going to look at in the next video, is the minimum amount of energy that a substrate needs to be converted to a product. So that energy is what an enzyme acts on. It lowers it to speed up the reaction or to speed up the rate of that reaction. The next feature of enzymes about their inhibitors. So some substances affect enzyme action, and these are called inhibitors. They prevent the enzymes from working. They impede the flow of the enzymes, and this can be seen in poisons or drugs. So these are all inhibitors which affect the activity of enzymes. Enzymes also need a factor which we call cofactors, and cofactors are basically compounds which are used to activate enzymes. So they are used to activate enzymes to enable them achieve their function. So they are activators and they are used to make enzymes active. We have several types of cofactors. A cofactor might be a prosthetic group, they can be a coenzyme or an activator. So when you say a prosthetic group, some enzymes have some groups that are bonded to them, and that groups are never separable. Basically, when enzymes attach to each cofactor and get activated, the cofactor gets detached at the end of the reaction. But you have some groups that attach to the enzyme but never get removed at the end of the reaction, and that groups are what we call prosthetic groups. The next cofactor is what we call a coenzyme, and this coenzyme is also compound, but they are derived mostly from vitamins, and they are used to activate enzymes. Some other cofactors like metal ions, which we call activators, they also used to speed up or make enzymes active to speed up their reaction. So, for example, if you have an enzyme and a substrate, this is a cofactor, or let's say a prosthetic group that is bonded to this enzyme. It makes the enzyme more active. So it enables the enzyme to have some kind of complementarity with the substrate, so that when it binds, there is going to be an easy conversion of the substrate to the product. So this is a prosthetic group bonded to the enzyme, which enable the enzyme to bond strongly to the substrate. Another cofactor, as we explained earlier, is the coenzyme. They have a site on the enzyme we call allosteric site. So this site is a site on the enzyme that the coenzyme bonds to make the enzyme more active. This site of the enzyme is what we call the active site, and it is complementary to the substrate the enzyme works on. So enzymes has a complementary active site with a particular substrate. So enzyme is also specific for particular substrate and also specific for particular reaction. In the next video, we are going to look at activation energy, enzyme specificity, and also how enzymes achieve their actions. Kindly like and subscribe to the channel so that when we do the video on next week, you also get updated. Thank you.